Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good. That is good.
Hello, welcome to Wahoo Warrior. A couple little changes. Changed the name of my channel here. Couple reasons. One is that I don't just play Forces of Destruction type armies. Play dwarves as well, so I made a quick change there. And also the Forces of Destruction is kind of a mouthful. Forces of Destruction. So it's a little Wahoo Warrior, a little simpler. That's the town I live in anyway, so it fits pretty good. So I went to Chicago last weekend and started off on the wrong foot. I missed the 3,000 point big brawl. Had some things come up at work and then some travel itinerary type stuff. That happened on Thursday, so I missed out on that. I did get to Chicago and checked out a lot of the team tournament going on Friday, and then I did play in the 2-day battle on Saturday and Sunday, 5 games. So I've got a few battle reports at least to post on that. So it was a good time, great time anyway, even though it didn't start off the way I wanted it to. But so I ended up taking a list that was a morph off of my 3,000 point list. That's really not the way to plan an event in hindsight. I didn't want to take a whole bunch of different models, and I didn't want to mess with it. So basically my 2,400 point list is a scaled down version of my 3,000 point. The problem with this list is that my general is the wizard hat goblin war boss, and then I have to put him, to get his leadership up a little bit, attach him to the black orcs, so with the standard of discipline. So he's leadership 9, but then in hindsight, it makes you a little skittish to put those black orcs right into the combat where they need to be because they're ferrying around a general. So we'll get into that during the battle reports, but this is my army here. I got 78 night goblins, 40 savage orc biggins, 25 black orcs, a little bunker of 20 goblins with 3 nasty skulkers, 2 wolf chariots, 2 manglers, and a bunch of war machines, rock lobbers, and 2 bolt throwers, 1 rock lobber, 2 bolt throwers, 2 of those. And I got 2 big boss night goblins, the wizard hat guy, night goblin BSB, and 2 level 2 night goblin shamans. So that's what I'm bringing to the table. First match, I get a random draw against a guy I'd seen at Bug Eater in Omaha. I don't believe I played against him, played next to him, and it's Empire. 1 steam tank, 3 units of demigryphs, 2 4 strong and 1 3 strong, halberders, 2 cannons, the hurricanum, and then some archers, and 2 units of 5 knights. Those are his kind of heavily armored chaff. Here's a couple closer pictures of his army. He's got a nice little patriot theme going on. He's got the little White House and stars and the colonial stars and whatnot on a bunch of his units. So it's alright. The demigryphs are all kind of different. One's on bears, and the other one's on something else, and different units. But looking at all these demigryphs, I've got 2 doom divers to try to make them a little smaller, and I just got to deal with the steam tank. So I roll up my spells with my wizard hat, and I end up getting Occam's Mindraiser and Miasma. So I'm pretty happy about that. I've got all those night goblins, and or any of my units with Mindraiser can do a number on him. So I roll that up, and I can tell he kind of forgets about it. So I just kind of set that down. My other guys, my night goblins, roll up their spells. So here's his deployment from left to right. He's got the unit of 3 demigryphs there. He's got some archers, and his archers, he's running a light council. He's got a level 4 of light and another I believe a level 2 of light, and then he's got 1 other, I think, death or shadow wizard. And he's got his halberds there and the 5 knights, and then he's got demigryphs, a hair cannon, 2 cannons, and a steam tank, and then some more demigryphs, I believe, over to the right. So we'll see that here shortly. It's kind of packed in there. Just need to try to slow them down and get those doom divers to try to make this stuff a little smaller. And he's got his other demigryphs and then 5 knights. So pretty standard. I just kind of, just gotta, in my mind, I'm just kind of looking at that steam tank and the demigryphs. A lot of things to try to shoot at to get them smaller before they get over, but I'm not in any rush to get over there. And then hopefully on my turn, when it comes to combat, I can pull something off. But here's my deployment. I've got a bolt thrower on the far left there, just kind of, if those demigryphs want to go after it, that's fine. I've got my 45 Savage Orc big uns here on the left side. In the middle, I got my Goblin bunker, Wolf Chariot, Mangler, Doom Diver, and then my Goblins. I believe I put my well, then there's my Night Goblins, and then I've got my Black Orcs, Doom Divers, Mangler Squig, and I attach in this match I attach my General to the Black Orcs for the +1. I have my BSB in the Night Goblins, and I have the 2 level 2 Shamans in the Goblin bunker. And there's my Rock Clobber. And I didn't know what to do with my Trolls here, so I need them close by the General, so that's where they're at. He gets first turn, and he moves his demigryphs up pretty quickly. And he moves his cavalry out. The steam tank kind of trundles down the hill, and the units of 5 knights. I'm not worried about them doing any damage per se on their own, but it's not a bad way to run as chaff, because it's hard to kill them all to score any points for them, and they can get the job done. But he targets, on his turn, he targets cannonballs at Mangler Squigs mainly. Some of my deployment allowed him to get a couple like freebie shots on some stuff behind there, so I got to be more careful about that. But let's see, one Mangler Squig gone, the other one is damaged, but survived. On my turn, I don't believe I do a whole lot. I fired some Doom Divers at some demigryphs. They didn't do so hot, drifted off. I think I hit the one on the far right, but I did charge with my Wolf Chariot and did pretty decent on impact hits. Killed 3 of those knights, won the combat, and they broke. I did not run them down though, so I left my Chariot kind of wide open for a demigryph charge, but that's alright. It's a 50-point thing. Get those demigryphs kind of going away from me a little bit, hold them off, and then I moved my Night Goblins up in the middle. And if you'll notice that my Goblin bunker is gone. Turn 1, I miscast. Now, one of the special rules of this scenario was miscasts or happen on the doubles of the turn and 6s, so double 1s. On his turn, he miscast something, and he rolled like a 9, didn't do much damage or anything. On my turn, I only threw 2 dice. I believe at I think it was either poison on the Savage Orcs. No, it was something really stupid, and I miscast on 2 6s, and I rolled a suck into the warp template blast, and the Goblins fail their check, and they on rerollable, and they flee off the board. So goodbye, Night Goblin spellcasters. On his turn, he charges that bolt thrower. It's pretty predictable there. Got it 1 shot before it got wiped out, and then he charges the Night Goblins into the side with his knights, and I'm not worried about that. I've got plenty of steadfast, and my generals over there in the Black Orcs. And he charges this Goblin Chariot here, which that'll be an easy win for him. So after the combats, his knights, I kill a couple, they flee. I have armor piercing up on my Goblins, and He kills. I think I made way with my characters, and so I had some strength 6 attacks, killed a couple of those guys, and they flee right in front of my Savage Orcs there. So it's a pretty good spot for them to be at. And now on my turn here, this is where I'm pretty excited. He's got the side of his steam tank sitting right there, so I go ahead and charge that steam tank, and I'm 6 dice Occam's Mindraiser on the Night Goblins. So they're in there. I've got Occam's up, and I failed to kill it. It's got 2 wounds left, which really sucked. My Savage Orcs killed those knights, those remaining fleeing knights, but on his flee distance, he rolled like boxcars, and I rolled boxcars plus my movement. I caught them, but that made me move like 16 inches up, so it put me right in a bad spot. So looking at it here, those demigryphs on the left, I'm not sure. I did check, now that I look back, I did check the charge arc, and they could barely see me, and they would be in my flank. But so they got those demigryphs there, just by a hair their chinny chin can see me. And then he's got demigryphs in the front, so he's got demigryphs in the side. Yeah, I rolled too well, actually, and my Savage Orcs are kind of left hanging out to dry. And the Night Goblins didn't kill that steam tank with Occam's up, which is ridiculous. And so it's going to be bad now. So on his turn, he makes that charge. He's in the side. He makes the demigryph charge in the front. He's not enough room for his halberds, but he doesn't need them. He's throwing down time warp, and he's always strikes first. Weapon skill 10. Another attack. He's buffed up the yin yang. He's got the +1 to hit because the hurricane him. Over here he does charge that redirector troll. So he's gonna try to kill that. If he doesn't kill that, then those guys are doomed. So yeah, I was pretty bummed about that. Occam's not killing that guy off, but I'm thinking it's not so bad. My Savage Orcs could just last, so I do kill a steam tank on my turn. He overruns, hits the Night Goblins. He's got all his buffs up on that unit, but the Night Goblins are made to be killed. If I can get Occam's up again, then there's a shot. And I got my Black Orcs getting ready to get over in the side. He's got. He did not kill that troll. The troll made a save, and I went ahead and eliminated that really quickly and reformed. I figured my Night Goblins can hold for a little bit. On his turn, he charges my Squig Hoppers just to kind of remove them so he could reform. But yeah, I did not get Occam's up again. This whole game, a lot of times there's spells I need to get cast, and I wasn't getting any power dice, and then I would roll an 18 and he would roll exactly an 18. His cannons back there kind of were eliminating my war machines every turn. So I don't have Occam's up, don't have any buffs up or anything on my Night Goblins. I kill that. Then he comes charging in the side and comes into the front with the hurricane. I'm going to take a ass ton of casualties, but I got my Black Orcs there. But the first time they charged the flank of those demigryphs, I needed, I think, a 7, and I failed. So that was bad. So I failed the charge, and then he comes in with all this stuff. So I need those Black Orcs in combat a lot sooner. He knows he's way ahead in points. I'm just scrabbling now. If I can kill off all these demigryphs, maybe something I could get close, because I'm just pretty much hoping. Yeah, and the Black Orcs here are in that combat, but he's got all those fancy wings and whatnot on there, so they come into the side. But what ends up happening is he does so many wounds to the Night Goblins, and then I kill the Hair Cannon. I end up fighting the Black Orcs fight themselves out of the combat. And my only hope is that the Night Goblins can stay steadfast and stay alive. It's a leadership 9, but I don't have any rerolls, so I've been doing that. I've been staying in, and I only take a few casualties. I'm not sure. I think that's after the Hair Cannon's impact hits or something. I might be a turn off, but I start removing some casualties. Yeah, no, they already did the impact hit. So he's just killing some Night Goblins. That was one unit, and the other unit, I stopped his buffs from going off. So I'm just trying to stay steadfast, and I do, but I fail my leadership 9 check without the reroll. So there they go. He also overruns so far, that he kind of get those guys out of the way of the Black Orcs. Since I'd fought my way out of combat, I formed to face the front, I believe, just because I was like, man, we got to try to kill his level 4 and get some points. And he moves his wizard out there to he just gives me his wizard to protect the rest of the unit and redirect me off to the side. So this is pretty much where the game ends. It's a loss for the Orcs. The way that they're doing this tournament, it's a 9-6-3 system, so that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. I think it gives the weaker armies like Wood Elves or even my list. I'll never table anybody with this list, but I could squeak out a win and by 100 points and get the full 9 points. Get a couple pieces of terrain. There is +1 objective point per piece of terrain up to a 3, and then killing enemy. In this particular scenario, I had to do with killing wizards. And what's so funny about this scenario is that with that special rule with the turns, when I was trying to throw, I was throwing 6 dice on that Occam's Mind Raider. Like every turn, I could not get Irresistible Force. It could have been on 6s or on 2s or 3s or 4s, wherever the game turn was. Yeah, I couldn't roll that. It was mind-boggling, the amount of dice that I was throwing at those spells, and I could not get a single spell off. But yeah, so yeah, start with an 0-1, starting off the bat. I've been to Adepticon a couple times, and or other tournaments, and I always try to shoot for at least a winning record, 3-2. After playing this first match, I know I'm in for a struggle to try to get 3-2. But you never know who you're going to face next. And if I get lucky with a decent draw, I might be able to have a chance. So that's what I'm hoping for. So going to check the back wall and see what the pairings are, and I will get that battle report up shortly, and you can all see what happens next. Thanks for watching, and appreciate any comments or anything you want to post. I'll try to get back to you. Thanks.